Hello everybody. Today I want to show you something kind of bright and cheery. I was doing an inspiration challenge and I wanted to do a card that was really like super bright, super cheery because of my inspiration piece. So I'll link off to the inspiration piece so that you might get it, although they don't look alike at all. The inspiration was to be bright and cheery. So I'm going to use a lot of colors today, and surprise of surprise, I'm going to use an embossing folder. So, you know, we forget about them. I actually have a whole box, but there's so many fun things you can do with embossing folders. It's crazy how much you can do with embossing folders. I'm sure I can talk for 16 videos just about embossing folders. But today I'm going to show you one method of getting a rainbow effect background using your embossing folder. Okay, so I have picked this one and I'll put the name of it. And I just want to point out that when you look at your embossing folders from Stampin' Up, when you see the Stampin' Up logo, you are looking at the front of the embossing folder. Okay? If you turn it the other way, that's the back where we have the copyright. That's the back. And when you want your paper in there, you want it face up so that it's facing the front. All right. The reason I just went through that is because I'm going to be doing a lot of work on the front of the embossing folder, but the back of that sheet. So here's the front. I'm just going to flip it over. I'm going to make sure I see the Stampin' Up logo, and that's where I'm going to work. And I've chosen a bunch of ink pads because I love my new ink pads, and so I want to use them up. And so I'm just going to run through this real quick. I'm going to open up Melon Mambo. I love the way the foam works now. And I'm going to just rub a little bit of that Melon Mambo along the top of my card. I don't know, maybe ½ of an inch worth. Okay? Then I'm going to close that. I don't need it. And I'm going to open up the Summer Starfruit, another awesome color that we got this year in our in colors. And I'm going to rub that on. Another ½ an inch. And then I'm going to grab my pumpkin pie, which is an oldie but a goodie. And this happens to be a new ink pad of pumpkin pie. You know I wanted to replace all my ink pads, right? Because I just love the impression of these with our stamps. And now this is Gumball Green. So I'm just basically doing the same thing. I'm just putting like ½ an inch of each color on the folder. Now here's a little trick. Whichever is your favorite color, this is Wild Wasabi. Whatever is your favorite color. Now the Wild Wasabi is an old ink pad, so I got to rub a little bit harder. Put more of that on there. So do a whole inch of your favorite color. I mean, what the heck? Have fun with it. And then here is Pacific Point. And to finish the whole thing off, I'm going to add Concord Crush, another one of my favorite ink colors, I think from last year. And I'll just finish my folder off with that. Now you could lay this down. I had picked it up basically because I was trying to show the camera. So you get this interesting rainbow look. And you're going to put your paper inside, center of that design. Close it and run it through your Big Shot. I'm not going to make you watch that. I'll be right back. So I've run it through the Big Shot, and now when I open it, I have this look. Not done. I happen to love all things that sparkle. So just for the sake of time, I'm going to use Glimmer Mist, but you could use any sparkling product, and you're going to saturate this piece of paper with that sparkling liquid product. The reason why I say saturated, and you can see that I've saturated my grid paper as well, it dries wonderfully so I'm not worried about it, is because the saturation of that liquid product is going to make each color blend, and therefore you're going to lose all those hard lines between each color. Sit that aside and then we'll finish our card. So I'm going to be right back. And this is what it looks like when it's all dry. You can see how nicely it blends at the joins of the different colors. If you want to be straight, you can. I wasn't really trying to be, you know, precise, but I really like the way it looks. To me, it gives me the effect of a rainbow. This section is a little wider. It's not so much because I like the green, but because I'm going to put an embellishment there. So let's keep going. What I have done in advance is I've cut with our labels dies. I've cut out a label, and I've stamped on that label with Pursuit of Happiness, this particular thank you card, thank you sentiment, which I love. And I've put a little glimmer brad on the end. And now I'm going to make a little embellishment for this side. So I'm just going to take a piece of paper, and I'm going to take the Daydream Medallion stamp. And my goal here is to keep going with these colors. So I've got the markers that match the colors I used. So I'm going to take the Melon Mambo and cover 2 of the petals with that. There's like 2, 4, 6, 8 flowers. So I'm putting each color on 2 of the flowers. This is the Tangerine Tango. Then the Pacific Point. And then finishing it off with the Gumbo Green. Again, like I did with the embossing folder, I'm just going to spritz that with a little bit of the mist. This way it'll match. And I'm going to stamp that down. And you'll see how beautiful it goes with our card. So I'm going to use our framelit dies for the floral framelit dies to cut that out. And you'll see that I've done that in advance, and I've actually put a little bit of one of our green dahlias in the middle, and I've mounted the whole thing on a crochet flower, and then I've put a glue dot on the back. So before I take that off, I'm just going to start putting this together. So I put some tape on the back of this. I do suggest that you use tape because when you're working with embossing folders, it texturizes the paper, which means that the adhesive is going to be weakened because of the texture. So whenever you're putting texture to paper, use tape, double-sided tape. I have to use a sticky tape. And I'm going to put this on a plain white card base. Okay, and then I have that cute little label with the thanks on it. And again, it's paper to textured, so I'm going to put it on using the sticky tape. And I'm just going to make sure it lines up with one of the sides. And that it's straight. And your grid paper can kind of help you make sure you put it down straight. And then finally, I'm going to take my little sticky tape paper off of my glue, and I'm going to put that right on the side. And there is the card. Really easy card. The background made with the embossing folder and just using inks, and then the glimmer mist to make it sparkle and to make the colors blend. I did it with a different card using another sentiment from Pursuit of Happiness, and instead I used a sticker over there on the left. And this time I kind of used a square piece of paper. So either way you do it, it's going to be beautiful. Enjoy. I hope you have fun with that. Have a great weekend.